Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All of that fun stuff. I am Bologna. I am back with the 12 Days of Whiskey. I started this series last year, and of course, I wanted to do it again because it's been a full year of fun drinking and whiskeys at Comiskey's, if you know us as the Chicago Sports Bums, and bourbon reviews, and Head Bum in Charge, popping bottles, and Dougie and Johnny and all of the Chicago sports bums having fun these last 12 months. And what a better way to celebrate that than with like a year end recap of the festivities, if you will. 12 days of whiskey. So, the first bottle I have for you guys is something I was not expecting, something that kind of threw me for a loop within the last week or so. So, if you guys can see here, actually, my ring light just went out, so you can't see, but I'll show you. I've got a bottle of the 1792 Sweet Wheat. So, this is a bourbon that I had tried 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought I didn't get it. I didn't understand the hype. I didn't understand why people sought after it so much. Um, I tried it at a bar, and it was a good amount, and I just I was underwhelmed. So the reason I'm starting off with this bottle is because there's a lesson here is to revisit things you might have thrown away or thought something negative about, because I was able to find this bottle for MSRP last week. Um, and I tried it this Monday on the Bumcast, and immediately I thought, wow, this is not what I expected. This is not what I remembered. And it won me over. So I would say revisit bottles that you thought maybe you didn't like or weren't worth the hype and things like that, because I have them right here. I was originally going to do the cast strength lineup of Redwood Empire, and I had this on Monday on the Bumcast, and I decided, you know what, we're calling an audible. So I'm going to put that back here so you can see it. I moved the wreath out of the way because these 1792 bottles, they're dummy thick. They're thick with 3 C's, and I didn't trust that wreath and that bottle together, and I was worried about it falling. So there it is. That's the 1792. 1792 is sweet wheat is 91.2%. The proof is 91.2. And it's a very easy sipper. Obviously, it's coming out of the 1792 Barton Distillery, and this is their only weeded offering in the 1792 lineup. I've been a big fan of a lot of the 1792 single barrels and the 1792 foolproof bottles, especially some of the 1792 foolproof store picks that are around the Chicagoland area or just in general. Um, so yeah, I had this on Monday. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, and I think there's a lesson to be had here. So here we go. Immediately, the sweet wheat isn't necessarily, I don't get a lot of the normal weeded notes, although this is like mild and subdued. There's like levels to it. So where it's well balanced, I get a little bit of like honey nut Cheerios. Um, there's like honey nut Cheerios, there's vanilla and caramel. And then the finish gives me a really like do you guys remember the royal dance butter cookies, that come in the blue tin, and your grandma used to finish the cookies and then put like their sewing stuff in there. You could use it as tortilla warmers. Yeah, those cookies in the blue tin. I get a lot of that, so there's like a butter cookie aspect to it, or like a little bit of butterscotch but more butter cookie. The proof, while I do like a little bit more higher proof stuff. This, especially in the summertime, I could see it being fairly crushable, easy summer sipper. And I understand we're in the middle of the 12 days of whiskey. Right in the beginning of winter in the Chicagoland area. And maybe I shouldn't be talking about summer bottles, but this is all encompassing, baby. We're gonna get to some higher proof stuff later in this series. Um, but to start off with, I thought, why not start off with something that I didn't expect? And maybe there's a lesson there. Um, the only thing I will say about this bottle is I understand how it's not very accessible. It's not readily available. I really do wish that Barton 1792 would make this more available because at 55 $60, which is what MSRP is, I was able to get it for 65-ish, which is not bad at all. I would like it to be more on the shelves, alongside the the 1792 small batch and things like that. So yeah, it stinks. I wouldn't necessarily call it highly allocated, although some people do allocate those bottles. I don't think it should be allocated. It's more rare than anything because it's the limited access to it. You know, there's some bottles that rightfully so should be allocated because one, the actually, you know what? No bottle should be allocated. Everything should be readily accessible. Um, and that's something we're going to talk about later in the 12 days of whiskey because I do have some fun things planned. So not only am I going to be doing some whiskey reviews and some kind of off the wall whiskey topics, but I'm also going to have some friends along. So stay tuned for that because I do expect to do like a bourbon and whiskey roundtable with some of my friends from the Chicagoland area and some people that you might know too. So yeah, so that's my review for day one. I'm excited to get this thing going. Excited to get things rolling. As you remember, last year we started off slowly and then finished with a bang. I was able to raid the head bum in charge closet and really get my hands on some stuff that I don't have access to, but he does. I plan on doing something like that again this year. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and all of that fun stuff. We appreciate everyone and all of their support along the way. Not only for the bourbon bum stuff, but all the whole Chicago sports bums as a whole. So cheers. We're just getting started. We'll see you again tomorrow for another of the 12 days of whiskey. Salud.